Let's not sugarcoat it. Things between Harry and Meghan have hit a boiling point. Word is spreading faster than wildfire that the two are barely hanging on, and the word divorce is echoing louder than ever. Not in the far future, not as a rumor to brush off, but soon. Insiders are whispering that the couple just doesn't move like a team anymore. Their chemistry, gone. The connection, fading. Behind closed doors, emotionally, professionally, and personally, it seems the royal fairy tale is coming apart at the seams. So, if you've been wondering what's really happening behind those glossy smiles and camera-perfect moments, sit tight. Because what I'm about to tell you is not tabloid fluff. It's what's being said by people inside their circle. And let me tell you, it's not pretty. According to those in the know, Harry and Meghan's marriage wasn't glued together by love, it was glued by chaos. Yes, you heard that right. Their bond thrived not on peace or passion, but on panic and problems. They were united by drama. Every time the world attacked them, blamed them, criticized them, they came closer. It was them versus everyone else. The us against the world energy made them feel alive. It was like two mischievous kids who only get along when they're plotting trouble. One insider said it bluntly, they don't really like anything about each other. Harsh, isn't it? But think about it. A marriage that only works when the world is against you isn't a partnership, it's a storm shelter. And the minute that storm settles, what's left? Silence. Emptiness. A realization that the only thing keeping you together was the fight. When the noise quieted down, when the attacks slowed, that strong team feeling they bragged about began to fade. Their relationship, it seems, wasn't built on peace, it was built on panic. And when the chaos stops, the foundation crumbles. Now, here's where things go from emotional to downright strategic. According to a February 2025 Vanity Fair report, someone connected to Meghan's team reached out to a publishing house with a very curious question. They wanted to know, if Meghan and Harry divorced, would you be interested in a book about Meghan's life afterward? Let that sink in. This wasn't after a breakup. This wasn't post-announcement. This question was asked while they were still married. The representative reportedly clarified that there was no divorce happening, at least not publicly, but still wanted to know if a post-divorce memoir would spark interest. Now here's the spine-chilling part. Harry and Meghan didn't deny it. And we know how quick they usually are to shut down stories they don't like. This time, silence. And that silence spoke volumes. Nothing was signed, no contracts, no outlines, but the question had been asked. And questions like that don't come out of thin air. If creative separation was the rehearsal, this felt like the first legal whisper. The first real hint that someone in their orbit was imagining a world where Harry and Meghan were no longer Harry and Meghan, but two separate brands. Two different futures. Two new beginnings without each other. But let's not stop there, because what came next lit the fuse that's now blowing up everywhere. Sources say the real explosions weren't in the media, they were happening inside the house. Every time another scandal hit, bullying, accusations, race allegations, PR disasters, their unity shattered. Harry and Meghan reportedly went from Team Us to Team Not Speaking. Apparently, the main fight was over strategy. Meghan wanted to fight back, loud, bold, aggressive. She wanted to own the narrative, correct the record, and hit back hard every single time. Meanwhile, Harry wanted the opposite. He was done. He wanted peace, privacy, silence. He was tired of the circus, the chaos, the backlash, tired of living under the magnifying glass. So inside their luxurious California mansion, it was war. Fire versus ice. Meghan demanding the spotlight, Harry begging for calm. And every controversy added fuel to their emotional bonfire. What used to be passion turned to friction. What used to be teamwork became tension. Every headline meant another argument. Insiders described it as crisis after crisis. Huge arguments, explosive fights, emotional exhaustion. At one point they say, Harry felt trapped, buried under endless negativity. Meanwhile, Meghan was furious that their brand was slipping, that the golden image they worked so hard for was crumbling. Imagine two people in a sinking boat, one yelling to row faster, the other screaming to stop rocking it. Eventually, frustration turns into resentment. Resentment turns into blame, and blame, that's the poison no marriage survives. Behind closed doors, that fairy tale turned into something resembling a reality show meltdown. And somewhere in that chaos, something inside Harry broke. The man who once stood proudly beside Meghan, defending her through storms, finally cracked. Insiders say he's been yearning, aching for the life he left behind. Home, the UK. Not the glitz of Los Angeles, not the cameras or Netflix deals, just peace. Sources close to him say he misses being liked. He misses his friends, the pub nights, the banter, the sense of belonging he had before it all went wrong. And here's the heartbreaking part. Many claim he's realized he doesn't feel that warmth anymore when he's next to Meghan. Insiders whisper that he hates Hollywood. The branding, the performance, the fake smiles, it's not him. It's like wearing clothes that never fit. And as their public image spiraled, that feeling only grew stronger. Harry started feeling sidelined like a background actor in Meghan's show. Then came the solo trips, the birthdays spent apart, the quiet distance that says more than words ever could. And those quiet thoughts, as one source put it, sounded like this: I want my old life back, not the palace or power, just peace. Harry, they say, isn't just tired, he's homesick. Homesick for normalcy, for mornings without scandal, for dinners without strategy, for laughter without cameras. And once a man starts dreaming of escape, he's already halfway gone. But it's not just love that's breaking, it's business. Because Harry and Meghan weren't just husband and wife, they were a brand. And when the brand fell, the marriage cracked right along with it. Let's look at the numbers because they tell their own story. Harry's favorability rating dropped to just 28% positive, with 58% of the public viewing him negatively. Meghan's fell even lower, only 20% positive, with a crushing 66% negative. That's not a dip, that's a free fall. And those numbers weren't just headlines. Inside the home, they were landmines. Insiders say Meghan was furious, not just hurt, but angry about how fast their influence was collapsing. Every failed project, every canceled deal, it all became ammunition in their arguments. Because when your marriage doubles as your brand becomes your marriage. So when the world stops cheering, the love stops working. Every bad headline wasn't just PR, it was personal. Every failure wasn't just business, it was betrayal. Success brought them together, failure pushed them apart. They weren't winning together anymore, they weren't even walking in the same direction, the brand was collapsing, and so was the marriage. Now let's talk about Meghan. According to royal biographer Hugo Vickers, she's following a familiar pattern. He said, people act in character, and her pattern is crystal clear when a relationship or connection no longer serves her. She cuts ties and moves on. Cold, clean, final. He even listed examples: her father, Thomas Markle, her first husband, Trevor Engelson, her old best friend, Jessica Mulroney, and of course, the royal family itself. One by one, she's distanced herself, rewritten the narrative, and rebranded herself as the survivor, the misunderstood one, the victim who rose again. And then Vickers asked the question that sent shockwaves through royal watchers everywhere: who's next? He implied almost chillingly that one day Meghan might decide she doesn't need Harry anymore. That when that moment comes, the story will paint her as the hero and him as the problem. Because as he said, she never admits fault. It's always someone else's betrayal, someone else's misunderstanding. If Meghan's path is forward into Hollywood, into solo projects, into her own empire, then what happens to the man who no longer fits that script? The one who's tired of pretending? What if this separation isn't an accident, but a cycle repeating itself? Let's zoom out and see the full picture. From the very beginning, Harry and Meghan's relationship thrived on storms. They bonded in chaos, united by shared enemies and noise. The drama made them feel powerful. But storms never last forever. The world moved on, the headlines slowed, the excitement faded, the spotlight dimmed. And suddenly, they weren't partners fighting the world anymore, they were two people standing in silence. Harry, facing backward toward home, toward simplicity, toward the life he lost. Meghan, facing forward toward reinvention, new projects, new fame. Two directions. Two dreams, no overlap, no shared future. Insiders now whisper they're creatively divorced. Others claim they're already living separate lives. And some say a legal divorce might not be far behind. But here's the twist, the most haunting one of all. This relationship began in a storm. Maybe it'll end in silence. Not with a press release or a dramatic TV interview, but with a quiet fade out, a slow, cold drift apart. A marriage that once roared with fire now flickers out to embers. Two people who once vowed forever now walking different paths. And the silence between them, it doesn't sound like a pause anymore. It sounds like the end.